I'm Kelly and this is my channel Incredible Anyway. Welcome to my series on how to cope. This is episode 2. If you missed episode 1, go check it out. I talk about 7 ways to deal with the changes and the fear that come with isolation, and I talk about things that I've learned in the last 15 years of my life because chronic health issues made me isolate and live a life that's very similar to the life that is new to most people right now. In this series, I'm talking about how to cope with life when it's out of our control, when it's scary, and when things are happening that we didn't expect. In this video, I'm talking about where our focus is, and the very end of the video, I'm going to be sharing kind of my fail-safe thing that I do to get my focus in a good place. Where is your focus? Where do you want it to be? Focus is everything, because what we're focused on makes up who we are. It makes up our thoughts, it makes up our feelings. Think about it as when we're walking or when you're driving a wheelchair. You have to look where you're going. So where you look is where you're going. If you are focused on certain things, that's where you're going to go. If we're focused on negativity, and that's what's going to affect our thoughts and our feelings. If we're focused on positive things, it's going to affect our thoughts and feelings as well. How we think is not going to affect our circumstances. How we think and feel are going to affect how we cope with the circumstances. That's why it's so important that we are paying attention to what we're focused on, because if we're focused on negativity, it's going to make it harder for us to cope with the world around us. And so that's why in this video, I want to talk about what we're focused on, because it affects how we cope with the world. The first thing to talk about focus is, what are you watching right now on your television? Just in your head, really quickly. What are you watching? There's a variety of things we can be watching: Netflix, YouTube, our favorite vloggers, music videos, the news, cable TV, and I think what we're focused on can really affect us. And so let's say if we're watching a lot of news right now, oh my goodness, watching the news that is about all this traumatic stuff, it's just gonna bring us down. And I think watching it in smaller portions is fine, but I think that we have to be aware of how it affects us, and maybe watching a lot of news won't affect you. I think it'll probably affect different people differently. I think it's important to realize that what you're focused on when you're watching TV is going to affect you. It's going to affect your thoughts. It's going to affect your feelings. Maybe watching a documentary that educates you will do better than watching something scary. What are you focused on? Next, who are you talking to? Who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? If the person you're talking to is a victim by nature, if they are a person that's going to dismiss your feelings, is going to devalue what you have to say and not build you up, that is going to put you in a negative mind state. And I think that when you're around people who are more positive, or maybe people who do talk about their hardships in life, but also balance it out, listen to you, or have compassion with you, have positivity in their life as well. Realizing who are we talking to, and maybe right now we need to kind of have a pause or a break from the people who are more maybe negative minded, and realize what are we putting out and giving to other people. It's important that we do share positivity in their lives as well. The people that you are around are going to affect you. They just are. Back in 2014, I picked a word that I wanted to focus on for the year, and that year was the word joy. I think when we focus on something, it really can help us to see that around us. So I focused on joy because I was just really having a hard time in my personal life, and of course my chronic health issues and my disability were really getting to me. Focusing on joy helped me to have more joy. So there's a lot of words that you could be focused on that would help you to perhaps have a more positive view of things. Togetherness, gratitude, love, kindness, passion, compassion. Any of those would be great. Where do I see this word playing out in my life? And maybe how can I make this word happen in my life? I mentioned earlier I had a fail-safe idea. It never fails to get my focus back in a positive place, and it is serving, volunteering, and taking care of other people, doing something for somebody else. When I was 20, I was in a real funk. I was reading a book, and it talked about how when you're in a really hard time, that focusing on other people can be a good thing. And I think it's because when you do something for other people and you make their lives better, you're gonna feel good about it. Even if they don't say thank you, you're gonna feel good about it. I think that there are a variety of things that you can do to serve other people, even in isolation, social distancing. Lots of ideas. The first one I have, a local pastor I'm Facebook friends with, he had posted on his Facebook something he and his family did, and they left these little note cards on each of their neighbors' doors and said, if you're somebody that can't get out and can't do something, we would love to serve you. We would love to go run errands and go to the groceries for you. Contact us and we will do it. I thought that was really, really great for people who can get out. I can't because I'm immune compromised, but I think it's a great idea if you can get out of your house and you can do that in a safe way. Of course, you can donate to others money. There's a lot of places right now, like my non-for-profit that I got my service dog from. They're really struggling financially. You could always donate to them. There are a lot of other places. Obviously, we know people who have lost their jobs, which is very, very hard. Lots of people have been laid off. So you can just find somebody you know and give them some encouragement through even just $20 can make a difference in somebody else's life. I have friends who have posted a video from a hospital that talked about how to actually make a face mask with a sewing machine. And this friend that I have loves to sew, and she is creating face masks on the sewing machine. And I thought that was such a great idea. I'm not talented like that, but it was neat that she was. I know other people who are making homemade hand sanitizer. There are so many people stuck in nursing homes and hospitals who their family are not allowed to visit them. A lot of people could start sending cards. You can have your kids make cards, and you don't have to know anybody there. Maybe you could organize it and get a big group of people virtually together. Maybe at the same time start creating lots of cards for different nursing homes. And then when all of this is done, you could go and visit them and say, hey, it was me, that card that you got. I mean, wow, that would be a huge reward. And I think obviously doing that would change your focus. While I was isolated in the last 15 years, I really got very depressed because I lost my purpose. I couldn't work anymore as a speech therapist. And I thought, what am I gonna do? I'm not able to be part of the world anymore. I can't help people like I was. And what I did was start praying, because who out of all of us have said, oh, I'll pray for you, but we didn't really, because we didn't have time or we forgot. But I had lots of time to pray for people. So maybe you have extra time to pray for the people that you wouldn't have otherwise. Pray for our leaders, the people who are doing research, our doctors, our nurses. I have a cousin who is a nurse, and she is working in the ICU and putting herself at risk. And one of her parents has cancer, and so she can't see him because of her job. I just think she's a hero. That's why I'm emotional. I'm just really, really proud of her. And that's another idea, is you could do something for the doctors and nurses who are working. You could send them food, send them donuts, send them gift cards to a place that's doing takeout in your area still. So I want to hear from you guys. And this is the question of the day. Tell me something that you are going to do for somebody else this week. Plan it, be intentional about it. In episode 3 of this series, How to Cope series, I'm going to be getting really vulnerable and talking about the day that changed my life. It was a day where I called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and talking to the person that I did on the phone changed my life. If you are feeling hopeless or helpless, maybe thinking about hurting yourself, please reach out and talk to a family or friend, or call the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. These people know what they're talking about, and they certainly made a huge difference in my life, and I will always be grateful. But I'm going to tell you guys what I learned in that phone call and how I applied it and how I changed my life, and some things that maybe will affect your life in a positive way and maybe change yours as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure you share it with anybody that you know could be helped out by this series. I'm going to be making a playlist, so look for that playlist if you want to send them the group of all of the videos, or you could just send them individual videos or post them on your social media. That would be awesome too. I'm thinking of you all. Stay safe, be well. You're in my heart and thoughts and prayers, and I will see you in my next video. Love you guys. Bye. I don't know why I want to kiss every time. It's just one of those things.